Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're watching this, you probably know the exact frustration I'm talking about. You study English, you can read it, you can write it, and you probably know the grammar perfectly on paper. But then, the moment comes to actually open your mouth and speak, and you just completely freeze up. The words literally vanish. Well, let's dive into this right now, because today we're going to break down exactly how you can transform that paralyzing fear into genuine natural confidence. We're drawing from some incredible methods, habits, and AI coaching strategies that will completely change the way you speak starting today.
So, do you freeze up? If you do, let me validate your fears right out of the gate. You are absolutely not alone. It's incredibly common to spend years studying a language only to panic during a real-world conversation. We call this the perfection trap. You overthink because you're terrified of making a mistake. And a lot of times, we do this because we're always thinking about what we don't have, right? We want a bigger vocabulary. We want a perfect accent. We want a better job that requires fluent English. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having dreams, but do not forget to be thankful for today. Look around you. You have air to breathe. You have food to eat. You have another chance to live, and you have the opportunity to learn and improve. These are wonderful gifts. When you are thankful, your heart becomes peaceful. You smile more, you worry less. Gratitude really changes the way you see life. So instead of saying, "I have nothing, my English is terrible," I want you to say, "I have enough to start."
Think about it this way, and I love this analogy. English is like riding a bicycle. You cannot just read the manual on how to balance, right? You literally have to get on the bike, wobble around, and eventually find your center. Making mistakes isn't failing. It is quite literally just how you learn to balance in a new language. So for the rest of this explainer, we're reframing your objective. Your goal is not flawless grammar. Your goal is simply to get on the bike.
Now, the most exhausting habit learners fall into is what we call the translation trap. That's when you're translating every single sentence from your native language into English inside your head before you even speak. It's incredibly slow, it causes super awkward pauses, and it makes you second-guess yourself constantly. So the golden rule we are establishing today is direct thinking. You've got to force your brain to build the reflex of thinking directly in English. It's going to feel a bit tricky at first, kind of like pedaling uphill, but bypassing your native language entirely is the only way to build real conversational speed.
Okay, so how do we actually lower the anxiety of thinking directly in a foreign language? Well, you adopt an English persona. This is a fantastic psychological trick shared by successful learners. One student noted that they have their native voice and their American voice. By stepping into a new persona, you kind of distance yourself from your own self-consciousness. It's almost like acting in a play. You might feel like you sound totally different or even a little bit exaggerated, but that is perfectly okay. Adopting this English voice makes speaking up feel significantly less scary and allows you to practice those basic conversational pieces out loud until they feel completely natural.
Your 15-minute daily habit.
Building this confidence doesn't require hours of grueling study every single day. A hyper-specific daily micro-commitment is so much more effective than cramming for 3 hours once a week. Let's break down how you can carve out just 15 minutes a day to build real-world muscle memory. Minutes 1 to 3 is your warm-up. Literally just talk to yourself out loud about simple things. In fact, every morning, use this time to think about 3 good things in your life. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your health, maybe it's your dream. Small blessings become big happiness when you notice them. Minutes 4 to 7 is shadowing. This is where you listen to a short audio clip from a native speaker and repeat it sentence by sentence, mimicking their rhythm. Minutes 8 to 10 is vocabulary in action. Pick 3 to 5 new words and force yourself to use them in sentences out loud. Minutes 11 to 13 is answer aloud. Practice spontaneous speaking by answering simple questions like, "What did you do yesterday?" And finally, minutes 14 to 15 is recap and reflect. Just summarize what you talked about. That's it, the whole shebang. 15 minutes of structured out-loud practice that builds incredible momentum.
Section 2. AI as your English coach. Now, you might be wondering, what if I don't have a speaking partner to practice those spontaneous answers with? Enter AI. You can use tools like ChatGPT as a completely free, non-judgmental, 24/7 conversational coach. It doesn't get impatient, it doesn't judge your accent, and it is perfectly designed to help you practice your English persona. But if you just ask AI to chat, it might spit out massive paragraphs that totally overwhelm you. Instead, you need to give it specific instructions. Tell it to act as a supportive and patient coach. This is absolutely crucial. Tell it to ask one question at a time and wait for my answer. Ask for gentle correction so you learn from your mistakes without feeling defeated. And finally, instruct it to follow up naturally based on what you just said. This simulates a fluid back-and-forth dialogue that mirrors a real conversation rather than feeling like some stressful pop quiz.
Section 3. Mastering Real-Life Scenarios.
Once your daily habit is rolling and your AI coach is set up, it's time for the final piece of the puzzle. role-playing scenarios out loud. Just reading about English won't make you fluent, but doing structured role-play absolutely will. The goal here isn't to memorize a rigid script, but to build a reflex so the right phrase just shows up automatically when you're at a hotel, a restaurant, or meeting a new colleague. The absolute best place to start is the structured self-introduction. Introducing yourself is the foundation for every conversation, and having a foolproof formula takes all the panic away. It goes like this. Start with a simple greeting and your name, like, "Hi, I'm Sarah." Then state your location. "I'm from Mexico City." Next, state your role. "I work as a graphic designer." And finally, add a personal detail to build a little rapport, like, "In my free time, I love hiking." You really don't need a complicated script. Just start with this strong foundation and the conversation will flow naturally from there.
A super common mistake learners make when they're nervous is going into a long, perfect 5-minute monologue just to prove they can speak English. But remember, a true conversation is a back-and-forth dynamic. It's like playing catch. Keep your answers to 3 or 4 sentences maximum and then pass the ball back. Ask them a question. Say something as simple as, "I'm fine, thank you. How about you?" Simple sentences delivered with confidence and genuine interest are so much more impactful than a complicated speech where you're constantly hesitating.
The crucial point we just keep returning to is this. Confidence is built through practice, not perfection. Every single fluent speaker you admire was once exactly where you are right now, wobbling on the bicycle, struggling with simple sentences. The only difference is they never stopped practicing. Keep a thankful heart on this journey. A thankful person finds hope even on difficult days when the words just aren't coming out right. I am challenging you right now to commit to a 30-day speaking challenge. Start today with just 15 minutes. Record your voice on your phone, listen back to it, but remember our golden rule. Ignore the mistakes and keep the momentum going.
I want to leave you with this to think about. What will your English sound like in 30 days? Just imagine that. If you stay consistent, if you adopt your English persona, and if you embrace making mistakes as just part of the balancing act, you are going to be completely surprised by your own progress. Remember, every new day is a new gift. Use it wisely, believe in yourself, keep learning, keep smiling, your future is brighter than you think. So take that 15 minutes today, open your mouth, and just start pedaling. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and go tackle your real-world conversations.